Paul McCartney with a comeback record of sorts at number 19 on my fantasy playlist, September 6, 1986. Press, just press. Video shot in the London Underground. Let me start with some trivia about this record real quick. Some chart statistics from the album Press to Play. As far as Paul McCartney singles go, it did not do that well. Usually a first single off a Paul McCartney album usually goes top 10. Sometimes to number 1. But this song peaked at number 21 on Billboard's Hot 100. Although it did spend 2 months in the top 40 and Billboard went to number 25 in England, pressed by Paul McCartney. Although some major talent went into this album, Eric Stewart of TNCC wrote 6 songs off this album. 6 songs. Got that right, I think. Six songs. Pete Townsend made a cameo appearance. So did Phil Collins. A guy with split ends played some on this album too. And the guy who produced this album, Hugh Padgham, this guy was an amazing producer back in the day, in demand. He's worked with Genesis, Phil Collins. He co-produced In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. 1981. He's worked with Human League, Split Ends, XTC, and numerous others. Paul McCartney was seeking a more modern sound, and indeed, this song does have it. It's got the rolling drum machines, as you could expect in an '80s record, and the synth, infused with Paul McCartney's old playfulness. And that's the thing about Paul McCartney. Some of his critics, with justification, have accused Paul McCartney of being flippant. But when you combine being flippant and being silly with inventiveness, I can't say that word, inventiveness, you got all these delightful singles. And Paul McCartney just makes it work. And this song is an example of it. Hello, Goodbye is another example. The simplicity of Hello, Goodbye. And Jet. The storytelling songs by Paul McCartney. Songs like Yellow Submarine. Genius. Sheer genius. Rocky Raccoon off the White Album. I believe that was off the White Album. And, of course, Band on the Run. And off of Venus and Mars, one of the most underappreciated Paul McCartney songs of all times, Magneto and Titanium Man, from Venus and Mars. Storytelling, the pop confections of the chorus, with Paul McCartney singing in unison with the band and with his wife Linda. That song should have been put out as a single. How about Let 'Em In back in the summer of '76 from, was it Wings at the Speed of Sound, I think was the name of the album. But anyway, let's get back to the song Press. Hugh Padgham produced this album. Hugh Padgham told Paul McCartney, before they made this album, Hugh Padgham told Paul McCartney, I had this dreadful nightmare that me and you, Paul, made this horrible album full of syrupy, full of saccharine songs. And I thought to myself, I hate this album. I made an album that I hated. This album is going to destroy my career. That was a dream. That was a dream Hugh Padgham had. And Paul McCartney said something like, well, we better take this as a warning. We better make ourselves a damn good album. Put some meat on the bone. Give them more than sugar and spice and everything's nice. This is a very sunny record. Sunshine. Sunshine on my shoulders and beyond. Anything else that I need to mention about this record? All right, mention the dream. Mention the chart. 37th single. 37th single by Paul McCartney. Up to number 19 on my fantasy playlist, September 6, 1986, the album Press to Play, the song Press, Paul McCartney. Fantasy playlist, September 6, 1986.